Hunter Biden had sex with a leprechaun and a unicorn at the same time. I absolutely know it happened. It was on the laptop from hell. We know that from Rudy Giuliani. He had sex with a leprechaun and a unicorn both at the same time. They launch an investigation. The investigation happens. Unicorns and leprechauns aren't real. And then the Republican lawmaker says, "Oh, well, this just proves that the system's broken. We got a two-tiered system. Hunter Biden gets to have sex with the leprechauns and unicorns, and Donald Trump has to go to jail for the crimes he literally committed, and we have evidence for. This is a two-tiered system." Whistleblower says IRS recommended far more charges, including felonies against Hunter Biden. Two whistleblowers told Congress that IRS investigators recommended charging Hunter Biden with attempted tax evasion and other felonies, which are far more serious crimes than what the president's son has agreed to plead guilty to, according to transcripts of the private interviews with lawmakers. What do you think about that?
Weren't we discussing certain treatments of various political people under the law being relatively unequal?
Yes. We disagree what those unequalnesses are, though. I'm suggesting it's a rich versus poor. Poor people get their ass handed to them, and rich people get to hire an expensive lawyer that puts fancy words together and delays the trial, puts it into a special kind of thing, changes the venue, moves it to something else, delays it again, gets the charges lowered, where poor people don't have those options. Hunter Biden is a rich, famous person. That is why he gets to agree to plead guilty to lesser charges. That is why Donald Trump will get to agree to plead lesser charges. I have a feeling you're going to suggest it's a left versus right thing.
Yeah, it probably is.
And in what, so because Hunter Biden's on the left, he gets lesser charges that he's already agreed to plead guilty to. So he gets less punishment? Is that what you're going to suggest?
He's getting charged with less. Hey, charge everybody to the maximum extent. Just do it. That's fine. But it's got to be everybody.
That makes them less likely to agree to a plea deal. The entire idea of a plea deal is to say, hey, you've done these 7 things. We can probably prove them in a court, but we're not entirely sure because we're going to have 12 jurors who might just disagree with us. And it's expensive. So if you plea to these 3 things and we give you this punishment, we can skip the trial entirely. I think this is a fine idea. And it's something Donald Trump could have done but chose not to.
You don't know that.
Literally, he pled not guilty. He could have put together a legal team to come up with a plea deal. He could have. This was a choice that he could have made. He chose not to because he would rather go on trial to bump his numbers up and say, I'm not guilty, I didn't do this. Because then he will be then found not guilty. That is his plan. Or he pushes it out so far. The plea deal would have happened a week ago if he were going to plea, hey, I took these, it was a mistake, I did it wrong, I had bad counsel, lower my culpability and lower the charges, and I will give them all back to you, and I will plead guilty to this smaller punishment and move on with our lives. He could have done that. He chose not to, either because of his own personal choice or he didn't know that he could do that. That just means he has bad lawyers. Lawyers comprehend plea deals. Lawyers know what a plea deal is. It's a pretty common thing.
A plea deal is, yes.
Yeah. So if his lawyers didn't tell him to do a plea deal or said, never brought it up to him, and he never chose that option, it's just because he has bad lawyers.
Anyway, we were talking about Hunter Biden.
Hunter Biden. Back on track. Sorry,
are you still in the CNN politics article?
I sure am. CNN politics.
Yeah. I want to talk about this bit at the bottom here. What do you think about this bit where Hunter tells the CEO of a Chinese fund management company that he's sitting here with his father, and we would like to understand why the commitment made has not been fulfilled. Tell the director that I would like to resolve this now before it gets out of hand, and now means tonight. I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me and every person he knows and my ability to forever hold a grudge, that you will regret not following my direction. I am here waiting for the call with my father.
That's crony capitalism. Was that a true statement? Was Joe Biden on that call? And is there any evidence that Joe Biden, as the vice president, well, he was vice president at this time, I assume, or was he a senator?
I believe he was
Invokes
the
Hunter Biden invoked dad's name to
vice
get
president.
paid. Texts show. Yes. I can say all kinds of things. Hunter Biden is not a good person. He is crony capitalism at its worst. He is using his name to attempt to get money from a Chinese company. I can tell that Chinese company that uh, Barack Hussein Obama himself is sitting next to me and very unhappy with them. But they wouldn't believe it because I don't have any connection to him. My last name isn't Obama. That's my name for next week. Anyway, uh, he is using a name, and that is a bad thing. We shouldn't agree with that. But that doesn't mean that Joe Biden told him to do it, knew he was doing it, and pushed anything on that Chinese company.
Oh, you're right. There's no way we can prove Joe Biden's involvement at this time.
Right. And they did an entire investigation of Hunter Biden. They have his texts. If those texts and that call was made while he was on the phone with Joe Biden, we would know it. The investigators would know it, and they would then investigate that. But because
That's a
that
lot of
didn't
faith
happen,
in the system.
we have to have faith in the system. Yes, that's faith. I agree. I'm assuming that the people who investigated this read this stuff, checked on it, and double checked it, and then determined whether or not it actually connected to him. Maybe I could be wrong on that. If some sort of evidence came out and said, "Hey, the Joe Biden was absolutely sitting here next to Hunter and pressuring these CEOs," then that would be a bad thing, and I would want Joe Biden prosecuted, investigated, and held responsible for it.
Very well. I
And
can agree with that.
the problem that we have is that it is a political game. I think Republican senators, Republican House members, Republican talking heads on the news talk shit. And they do not care if it's real. They just want to talk shit. They don't care if it's real. They don't care if it's based on good stuff. Investigate and talk shit.
Oh, it's totally ridiculous that you would make the qualification that Republican people on these uh, platforms just talk shit and don't care about the truth. Give me a fucking break.
Of course they don't care about the truth.
Nobody
I'm not being
who is
ridiculous.
on
I don't think I'm being
a
ridiculous.
media platform does.
I'm a shit talker, but I'm not elected. I'm talking shit about Donald Trump, but I'm not literally running for office. I'm not telling anyone that I'm bringing you the truth. I'm bringing shit talk. That's what we do here. That's what I'm doing right now, talking shit. But we should talk shit. And we should talk to other people about their shit talk. But when you're elected, I don't want you to be a shit talker. I don't want the elected person to go up there and say things they know is wrong or a lie or even based on nothing. But that is how politics works today. Talk shit. Get the other side investigated. Then talk shit about that investigation. Make up some people are saying that Hunter and Joe are pressuring these CEOs so that they won't vote for him. That's politics today. That's how politics works now. Hunter Biden is a bad person. I hereby promise not to vote for him for president.
Somebody made that bad person, you know. The
Yeah,
apple don't fall far from the tree in a
maybe.
lot of cases.
Great. Then find evidence of Joe Biden doing it.
Uh-huh.
Famous and important people often have shitty kids. It's a pretty common thing within our country. They have shitty kids, and those shitty kids will use that name to get things for nothing. Joe Biden has repeatedly denied having any involvement in his son's overseas business dealings, where he made millions of dollars from China, Ukraine, and other countries. House Republicans have used their oversight probes to look at the evidence that Joe Biden was actually involved. And if they find evidence that he was involved, That's bad. If it's a crime, prosecute him for it. Investigate it and prosecute him for it. But what I see happening now, that this might just be my perception of it, but perception is reality. I perceive Republican lawmakers, Republican people, making things up, telling people that it's a fact. Then the investigation happens, and it's not a fact, and it didn't actually happen, and the things that they said are not true, and then using that as a reason to say that the system is broken. Hunter Biden had sex with a leprechaun and a unicorn at the same time. I absolutely know it happened. It was on the laptop from hell. We know that from Rudy Giuliani. He had sex with a leprechaun and a unicorn both at the same time. They launch an investigation. The investigation happens. Unicorns and leprechauns aren't real. And then the Republican lawmaker says, "Oh, well, this just proves that the system's broken. We got a two-tiered system. Hunter Biden gets to have sex with leprechauns and unicorns, and Donald Trump has to go to jail for the crimes he literally committed, and we have evidence for. This is a two-tiered system." I'm
Do
being
you think that
ridiculous, but yes,
having sex with a unicorn taints you in the same way that drinking a unicorn's blood does?
a different type of. I mean, there's some fluid
I mean,
swapping over.
you'll be cursed forever, right?
You'll be cursed forever, yeah, but he likes that. He drinks curses for breakfast. Hunter Biden is, in fact, a curse. He is
He is his own curse unto
he
the
is his
world.
own curse. Yes, it's a very complicated
Incredible.
life that he leads.
What happens when a curse curses itself by
It
fucking a
gets
unicorn?
stronger somehow. Yeah, it's like eating Sukuna's fingers on Jujutsu Kaisen.
Ah,
Yeah, so he's one of those curses, and he's walking around as a person. Yes,
incredible. You
and
know, I actually haven't started the second season of that yet. I'm waiting
neither have
for
I.
it to finish so that I can binge all of it. But
Neither have I. I haven't got on to season 2 yet. I'm rewatching season 1 in English so that I can watch all the fight scenes and not stare at the words
oh,
on the bottom.
nice.
Oh, hi. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. If you liked what you saw, hit the like button, press the subscribe button. Uh, if you want to tell me how right I am, feel free to leave a comment. If you want to tell me how wrong I am, leave a comment too. That's good. Um, this is just kind of a hobby for me, so I appreciate you coming by, giving it a watch, and pressing the YouTube buttons. Thanks.